All right, everybody, welcome back to another episode of Word with Ty Brownlow. I am your host, Ty Brownlow, and remember, no one is worthless, no story is worthless. And today, ladies and gentlemen, got a very special guest for you. I'll give you a couple of words about my guest. Relationships, teacher, direct, truth, all the way from Virginia. Give it up for Tahanee. Hello, how are you?
I'm doing wonderful. How are you?
I am great. Now,
Great to hear.
we're here to talk about you,
Okay.
Now, you are a author and relationship columnist.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to talk a little bit about relationships, toxic relationships, being that this is the time of the year where you're going to have a lot of toxic relationships. What comes out. Man, let's just get right into it, if you don't mind.
Okay. Well, as far as toxic relationships go, I want to just say that I believe it all starts from home, of course. And I always say this whenever I speak to others on relationships. It really depends on our perception of love and our definition of love. Because sometimes some people's definition of love isn't equally yoked or the same as their partners. You know, some people may affiliate it with materialistic things. Some people may affiliate it with sex. Some people may affiliate it with abuse. So it all starts from what you're used to growing up, meaning your environment. If that's what you saw your parents go through or whoever it was that was raising you, that's pretty much what you sponge in as a child. And then if it's something that's toxic and then add on unfortunate things that may have happened to you, you know, growing up, it could be sexual abuse, it could be physical abuse. Those type of things lead to the toxic relationships because you feel like those toxic relationships are the norm because that's all that you know. You know, so when you do finally come across someone who doesn't have the baggage and the drama, it just doesn't feel natural to you. So you start to create those issues that you're used to. You know what I'm saying? So it's all about perception and really from where it begins at, and that's home.
Okay, see, you know what? No, I ain't gonna name no names because if naming names, that's a totally different show.
Right.
That you just said. Man, I'm thinking of a person right now in my mind, right now, like pretty much in my mind. And I'm pretty sure like everyone out there knows someone or they may be going through it themselves. But, sometimes I always talk about people who are chasing the rain, like I'm like chasing, basically I'm chasing what's due me. And as you said, some of those relationships, a lot of those relationships are toxic relationships where people continue to stay. And I have given advice time and time again, and it basically falls on deaf ears because at the end of the day, they resort back to that, same space. So like, I know you hinted on it a little bit, but like what really makes a person do the things that they do when they're in a toxic relationship, like stay?
Self-esteem, not knowing what it is that they deserve, not seeing themselves deserving anything better. Just basically, I kind of look at it as being like a diamond, just constantly being chipped away until there's nothing left. And unfortunately, a lot of these things begin like with one of my characters I wrote about. I guess we'll get into that later, but her self-esteem started with her mom constantly referring to her as B, never calling her by her name. She always called her B. So that right there, kind of gave her the attitude of, well, I'm not worth anything, unless I'm able to provide, because she was taking care of her mother as well. So she kind of took money and then the word being a B kind of like put them together, and she just turned into this horrible person who was just out for money. And she was like a B. She never knew what love was. So she affiliated that with materialistic things and just had that guard of just out to get. So yeah, her mom played a huge part in that right there. So that's why I say it starts, from home. And then, they say that whatever you put out into the atmosphere is what you attract. So if you come in contact, I always tell women and men too, when you start dating someone, the first thing you don't want to do is start telling them the things you don't like about yourself or your past relationships, because people will use that against you. You get into a relationship and say, oh, my ex-man used to beat me, he cheated, this, that, and the third. Not everyone has good intentions. So that person could be like, okay, you know what? I'm going to see how far I can go. Because it's human nature to see how far a person will bend. So that right there is also, something that will contribute to a person just not having, a self-love for themselves, a self-esteem. So all those things play, factors. Workplace, it's sad. It's sad. Workplace too.
So let me just say, at what point does a person claim responsibility, for putting up with another person's actions in a toxic relationship? Like, I've been here, like I'm still in it. I know you talked about esteem, but at what point, okay, I have to claim responsibility. Like, this is me, you know what I'm saying? Like, this person has done this X amount of times. I'm tired. I'm not going to take it no more.
I think that when a person starts seeing the people around them no longer supporting them and that type of behavior, I think that when you're left alone, that's when the light can go off. But unfortunately for some women, they never got it. They ended up being, killed by their spouse. So some people don't get it, but I would honestly say it's really hard because, you have people that say, pray, go to God, pray, pray, pray. And I've seen so many episodes of Fatal Attraction on TV One where you'll see the women just starting to get into God and stuff, and they'll have those, those restrictions, those, order protections, and still find themselves, But a lot of times, the guy will say, I want to come over and talk to you. And they're still, you have to know when to shut it off. And for different people, different reasons, will lead to that. Like, let's say they lose their mom or their dad. A death can cause a person from saying, you know what, life is too short. I'm not putting up with this no more. Or even having children. Kind of like with an addict, because it's an addiction. You're addicted to pain. You're addicted to toxicity. So when you have an addict that's tired of smoking crack, they have to feel that, So it can come at any time. It could be an event where, God forbid, they get acid thrown in their face. Hopefully it's something that doesn't kill them. It just makes them stronger. And hopefully it isn't something that makes them feel like, you know what, I wish I was dead. Having acid thrown in your face, I can't imagine.
No. And but as you said, the things that lead up to that, and as we said, like, why does a person stay? And, you talk about esteem and all these other factors, like, it's just a huge rabbit hole to go down sometimes. But that's crazy. Okay. So we're going to switch gears a little bit.
Okay.
Now, I know you want to talk about what's behind you, but we're going to talk about something else before we get into that. I want to talk about this bedroom busters and bites. Okay,
so that would be a little poster right there. That's the cooking show that I started on YouTube almost 2 years ago. And what it basically is myself as a host, and then I'll have a guest come on. They could be their own self-proclaimed chef, or just like a cook, just like a connoisseur cook who just, someone who loves to cook. So I'll have them on. They'll come on with the recipe, and then at the table I'll have 4 of my family members or friends, and we'll all engage in a conversation, like a topic. It could be current events. It could be something as far as what you just asked me, what makes people stay in toxic relationships. And we'll all engage in a conversation as the person is cooking and, telling me what they're making and things as such. So once the meal is done, we all sit down, we eat, and, we talk, and we give them our honest opinion on what the food tastes like, So it's just like, just basically family and friends coming together, doing what we would do behind the scenes, but, in front of the camera.
Okay, all right. That sounds very interesting.
Oh, and not to cut you off, I have Buster facts. That's where the word Buster comes in at, because I give facts around the world. Like, for example, it's illegal in Virginia to engage in sex in the daytime with your socks on. So those are it's illegal. I give different facts weird laws around the world, state laws that people have never heard of. So that's something that's, I would call the buster. Like, what? Okay.
But you know what? That's very interesting, because you know what? You never know what you can pick up. And hey, I know that you couldn't have your socks on. Okay. Hey, who knew in 2020? Who knew?
Right, exactly. Yep, it's illegal. Yep.
Okay. So now let's talk about this book, okay? Because as I said, people, she is a author as well. Let's now cry later. Okay. Let's get into this book. Let's talk about it. What is it about? Where did the concept come from? And where can we get it?
Okay. So the book was published by the legendary Wahida Clark. But people who are readers would know who she is. So I was blessed to be published by her. Took me 11 years to get picked up by a major publisher. This book right here represents everything that we go through as human beings, any and everything that you could possibly think of, from child abuse to alcoholism to mental illness to homosexuality on the down low to HIV to infidelity, to just everything. When I came out with the book, the concept was to cover topics that I didn't really see in the urban literary, scene. It's like, I try to put myself like in a position of like a foreigner if I was just coming to the United States, and I wanted to learn about, Black authors. And I said, okay, what books would I start reading? And then I noticed that a lot of the books that are in the, literary world really consisted of a lot of the same things: sex, drugs, money, sex, drugs, money, so I said, let's talk about things that we go through as human beings that sometimes we're afraid to talk about. Child abuse. Child abuse has become the normality, in households now. Uncle touched me, you may tell mom might not say anything because it happened to her. And then it happened to, grandma. And then, it's just like a generational, curse really to say, because you carry on those things. And like I said, as a child, if that happens to you and your parents don't do anything about it, but they know, that plays a part in your self-esteem, because it's like, Dad, I'm not even worth them trying to, figure out the truth or fight for me. So I wanted to talk about child abuse. I wanted to talk about mental health, mental illness, because that seems to come up all the time now. People are becoming more and more aware that that's real. I wanted to talk about HIV and men who are on the DL. I have very close, gay friends who have told me that they've had relationships with married men. So that was something that I wanted to discuss. So, I wanted to talk about alcoholism. I wanted to talk about how people have started taking, pills and stuff. How now the epidemic with these, pills, these Percocets, these Oxy have now become a part of the urban community now. You hear it in the music. So, any and everything, you could possibly think of is covered in that novel. And unfortunately, it doesn't seem like we'll have a handle on it anytime soon. So it's timeless.
Well, man, you cover like an array of topics, like seriously, and a lot of stuff that you cover is stuff that, for some reason or another, for some reason or the other plagues the Black community and, other, communities of color and, elsewhere in countries or what have you. But we're just talking about the here and now.
That's right.
If you're giving that perspective and you have it all in a book, because I've read some of the book, I read the beginning of the book and how, you talk about some of those things, as far as like, sexual abuse and being like cheated on, thinking that, you're going to have this one thing only to have it snatched from you. So, as you said, your mental health and, just your whole psyche and your whole being. She covers it up, man. So where can we get the book?
Oh, okay. Well, the book is available worldwide. You can go to my website, Tahanee.org. It's on Amazon. It's available, like I said, worldwide. Any bookstore, that sells books, you can get it there. You can get it on Wahida Clark's website. It's also in audio. I think Apple audio books. So it's Audible books as well. So it's available worldwide. Just type in, my name, Tahanee Roberts, or Lust Now, Cry Later, and it'll come up. It used to be in Borders Books a long time ago when it was first published. I miss Borders Books and Walden. They really supported us,
Yes.
urban authors. But yes, it's available worldwide. So I'm very, very grateful about that.
Worldwide, y'all.
Yep, worldwide.
Google her.
Yes, just Google me. Yes.
Okay. Now, I want to, talk about 2020 a little bit. Man.
Okay.
We can talk, man, we can say a lot of negative things about 2020. Don't want to do that. I want to go the opposite way.
Okay, yes.
Positive of 2020.
Okay, thank you. Yes.
So in, your eyes, if you can think of something, what has been a positive for you for the year 2020? Like, what has 2020 taught you? If it's taught you one positive thing, what is that one positive thing?
Honestly, this is probably going to really I don't know. It's probably going to be a little shocking, but I'm going to be honest with you. I have become a Trump supporter.
Okay.
And only because, of this whole COVID thing, I decided to really do research when it first hit and really dig into the truth. And, a lot of people, I got a lot of backlash about that. But it was something that was positive for me because I actually saw a whole different side of politics that I wasn't really aware of. And I contribute that to a friend of mine who passed away. Rest in peace, King Face. He passed away in September. But I attribute that to him because he was the first person that I knew who actually started to support Trump. And that made me want to say, let me see what this guy is about. And I just started seeing things differently and just digging more into history and the bigger picture. But I would say that that's a positive for me because now I'm woke and I'm aware, of the history. And I have hope, regardless of what, you see on TV and, how family members and friends, treated me after finding out about, me supporting him. It made me a better person because, like I said, I learned more, and it made me want to become more in tune of what's really going on behind the scenes with the mainstream media. They're not going to show you. It made me want to just, do my research. And what I feel like I owe to my peers and the people who are around me, who are willing to listen. Sometimes they want, they debate.
Well, you know what? First and foremost, let me just say, I thank you for your transparency. I thank you for being crystal clear about that. Second, let me just say, here on Word with Ty Brownlow, we don't really get into what's right, what's wrong. If that's what you feel, that's what you feel. Your reasoning behind it is your reasoning behind it. I'm here to talk to Tahanee.
Right. I appreciate that.
If that's part of Tahanee and that's what Tahanee is, then by all means, say your piece, okay?
Yes, I appreciate that.
No one is worthless. No story is worthless. I stick by that motto.
I love that. I appreciate that.
Okay, so that's what's up, But unfortunately, we come to the last question of my show. I'm kind of upset because I could sit here and talk, and we can really talk all night about Trump.
I love it. Yeah.
But man, I have to ask this question. The question my show is known for, so here it is. Miss Tahanee, what is the one word that best describes you and why?
I would say authentic. Authentic. I feel like they just don't make people like me anymore. Someone who's more passionate, who puts passion before payment. How about that? So everything that I do is really basically because of the passion that I have and wanting to help and educate others. Okay. A lot of people are on that, whole Instagram, look at me, I'm pretty, or trying to make an extra dollar. It's not about that with me. It's about giving knowledge, and also helping others. You know what I'm saying? And by any means necessary. So I'm very authentic. You can ask me anything you want. I'm very transparent, and I'm very, very confident. So I would definitely say authentic, because they don't make them like me anymore. Just to be honest, I'm just, being real.
I like that. So look, I mean,
being real.
Look, as I said, one of the words I used, or two of the words I used to describe you was teacher and true. So,
Thank you.
Right. So, see how that ties into the show?
Yes, I appreciate that. Yes.
So that.
All right. Okay.
We do our homework over here.
I see that.
Sure, everything is on the up and up. But no, man, I'm just going to say genuine, because as you said, for you to, pretty much lay it all out there. Look, this is it. This is who I am. Either you're going to accept this or you're not.
Mm-hmm.
Look, I'm going to keep it moving, but now I really see how things are. So, man, hats off to you. So if people want to, find you, or, reach out to you, say, hey, Tahanee, man, I seen you on World with Ty Brownlow. I just want to say blah, 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 blah. How can people get in contact with Tahanee?
Well, you can visit me on my website at tahanee.org. So that's TAHANEE.org. You can follow me on Instagram at Totally Tahanee, on Facebook at Tahanee Zarina, and on Twitter at Totally Tahanee. So I'm, on all platforms. So I'm available. And I want to say to you, thank you. I appreciate you. This has been one of the best interviews I've had. And I say that sincerely.
Oh, thank you. Listen, you know what? We ain't going to cry on the camera. I'm going to cry on the camera, because I don't do that on the camera. I have an image. I have a brand. But no, man, I'm going to use genuine. Like, I really think you're genuine. And,
thank you.
So, man, hats off to you. I wish you luck on everything. Wish you luck on that book. I'm going to finish reading the rest of that book.
Thank you.
You see, it's Christmas season. We're like, oh, okay, this is what happened. All right, all right.
Yeah.
But ladies and gentlemen, this has been Word with Ty Brownlow. I am your host, Ty Brownlow. Remember, no one is worthless. No story is worthless. You can find me on social media, YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, Word with Ty Brownlow. Find me on Twitter, Ty Brownlow TV, or you can just go to my website, tybrownlow.com. Get this wonderful interview along with other great interviews. Ms. Tahanee, I thank you.
Thank you so much. And I want to say thank you to my publicist, Nicole Brown, for setting this up. Thank you, Nicole.
Thanks, Nicole.
Bye-bye. See ya.
See ya.